you're just
we
about
were
to
talking
say.
about knowledge of civilizations, knowledge of human culture, and so on. And this is a lot of this comes through history. Yes, lots of it comes from a lot of self knowledge. But one way of getting self knowledge is through history, understanding histories of civilizations, and so on. And, in order to understand history, there's no substitute for uh, ultimately for knowledge of the languages of those civilizations. Because how can you understand or get some concept of the world of Greece and Rome if you do not at least if other people have knowledge of Greek and Latin, they'll do it for you. Let's say produce a book on Roman history that requires no knowledge of Latin, whatever.
Right.
But just try to imagine a world where knowledge of Latin has completely died out.
Yeah, what would happen?
Exactly.
Yeah, what would happen though? Do you think it would be bad?
The direct contact with that world would be lost, wouldn't it? We had lots of books lying about in languages that we couldn't understand.
Exactly.
It'd be like, well, I suppose, be like Atlantis or something.
Right.
Let's just suppose,
Atlantis being the lost city.
Well, no doubt maybe there are some people who claim that there are because there are texts, aren't there, in languages that are not understood. Like that, what's the name of that document?
Ollie.
Which one?
Ollie, just sit up a little bit.
That's never been deciphered.
And lots of documents.
Yes, but no. But for example, the languages might be known. You say the oldest Greek texts have not been deciphered.
Oh, those.
Whatever. But there is a document. I can't remember. It's in Arthur Clarke's mysterious world. I'll have a look.
Oh, that one.
But it's never been deciphered. We can actually check this and find out if it has. The point is, this could be an important document of a history of a civilization that is forgotten. Yes, ultimately, if the languages are not understood, that direct contact with the civilization will be lost.
So, what is this civilization? What language is it? Do you know?
No one knows.
No one knows.
It's not like a sort of. The oldest Greek texts have not been deciphered, but people presumably think that they are Greek. The oldest Latin texts.
Because they're found in Greece.
Yeah, the oldest Latin.
Oh no, I know what it is. Minoan.
No, I don't think it's got a name. No one knows.
No,
what it
they
is.
call it. They call it Linear B.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about the Greek text. Yeah, so I was talking about. But the oldest Latin inscription, I think, has not been deciphered. Yes, people don't know what it means or refers to, but it is known to be Latin. Yes.
Oh, all right. So you were saying before that the ordinary person, if you say, they will say, well, why do I need to know about a man who wore a toga all those years ago, thousands of years ago? Or was it thousands of years ago? No, hundreds.
We're talking about 1500 to 2000 years ago. Yes.
1,000 years ago. Okay, so why do I need to know about him?
I would maintain that the ordinary man doesn't need to know about them in the sense that I think classics, and this goes for, as I say, Indian classical languages as much as Chinese, is always going to be the pursuit of an educated elite. And I don't think these societies now, any more than societies then, need to worry about mass literacy. The reality is, if we strive to have the average person knowing Latin and Greek in addition to their native languages, it'll probably lead to the most appalling corruption in the generation of those classical languages themselves. Yes, I don't think it's necessary, or maybe it's even desirable that let's say it's desirable that the study of classics is the pursuit of an educated elite. Yes, but what's important is this knowledge is retained and passed on from generation to generation within this society.
Yeah, like a thread.
That's giving the example of Vipassana meditation.
Yeah, you said about Vipassana.
It's very popular in, I think, in northern India, much of India, not long after Gautama Buddha's death. But we've got the practice receded until possibly only the odd monk, or maybe I say not necessarily monks, but the odd practitioners here and there pass the knowledge on from father to son, father, whatever, and it was retained to this day. Likewise, with ancient languages, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So after all, let's consider when we're studying the phenomenon of human history. Okay, we don't have to go far before we encounter the phenomenon of ancient Egypt. Yes. But no doubt our study and understanding of human cultures and human history is hampered by the fact that, well, correct me if I'm wrong, Ollie, I think knowledge of ancient Egyptian is very imperfect to this day.
No, it's quite good.
Well, I don't know if that's a bit like paleontologists saying they know all about dinosaurs.
No, but they're able to read pretty
No,
much
but for
everything.
example, they don't know how. Well, okay, this may be a small point, but ancient Egyptian, I think, rather like the most Semitic languages today, they don't write in vowels, do they? So no one knows.
Oh no, they don't know how it's pronounced,
Yeah,
but they are able to read everything.
Oh, they don't know how it's pronounced. Ancient Egyptian.
because they don't write the vowels in. You see.
All right. Well,
No,
can
and
I?
even the consonants. That's only
Oh,
that's only because the reason why they know them is because the Greeks they what is it called? They compare the pharaohs' names
Mm-hmm.
with the Greek names.
Ah,
I think that's it.
well, it depends. Well, quite a lot of pharaohs, so we'll get through quite a few letters.
I know,
still,
but
yeah.
even then, it's probably still just a
So,
guess.
so anyway, just back to the classics.
Yeah.
So you think that if you keep a thread of people,
Well, yeah, and then,
like with the Vipassana,
no. Well, what I'm saying is, yeah, exactly. What I'm saying is, as a minimum, I don't think anyone.
you don't think it should be
I don't think
widespread?
classics should be a mass thing.
No.
Yes, I think it's likely to be corrupted, trivialized, and polluted by mass interest in it. But there's nothing wrong with it getting more popular. Yes,
Yeah.
if suddenly, for example, lots of schools in say, England are teaching Latin for those who wish to learn it, or even making it compulsory in some cases. That'd be a good thing because probably many pupils would find it interesting. And I understand from this is partly what Lydia told me about her daughter in Italy. I think possibly in Italy, not surprisingly, far more people study Latin.
Yeah, because it's very close to.
Yeah, it's still.
In terms of vocabulary, it's quite close, but in terms of grammar, it's not very similar.
Yeah,
Oh, right,
there's quite a
okay.
big differences. So it's not Latin's not necessarily a walkover from Italian by any means.
But can I just interrupt?
Yeah.
What was I going to say? The thing about keeping it going,
Yeah.
the thread. But that often happens with things like, for example, they're very popular and then they shrink.
Yeah. Let me give you. Sorry,
I'm just going to say, I just want to say, and under Margaret, apparently, Baba said that it was going to, it obviously expanded, it was very big, and then it will shrink. It doesn't actually mean it's in danger.
Yeah, as long as you put it not completely, it doesn't completely. Even if it completely dies out, there are cases, for example, Hebrew, where it did die out and it was resurrected, but still, no doubt, all sort of, I'll choose my words carefully, enthusiasts for Hebrew, the Hebrew language would say it would have been better had it not died out. I think they would.
Had it not?
Yes, probably they would say that. And the point I was going to make is that.
But it didn't die out. It nearly died out.
It died out.
Oh, it did die out. Oh, right. It's dead language.
No, it was resurrected in the 19th century. The Hebrew died out.
Right, okay.
Well, maybe who knows? Maybe there was the odd village where they spoke it, but it was to all intents and purposes a dead language for about 1,500 years. Yeah.
Mm.
Now, the point I was trying to make, so I think I might have forgotten it, but the fact is, what were we talking about? About how. It doesn't need mass. Not desirable. Not even desirable that large numbers of people decide to study the classics. It's sort of probably essentially, yeah, to some extent the work of scholars, but at the same time you probably could do with a broader popularity than it has.
All right, I'm going to just